Face to face with the NC's top officials this weekend. The party has to decide whether Zuma, as head of state, will deliver the State of the Nation address next week. And chairperson of the NCOP, Thandi Modise, left the question open when she said yesterday that, quote, whoever is president at the time, unquote, would give this honor. But first, let's cross to a briefing.
Management and the department in resolving whatever issues that were there. We want to thank every stakeholder, the management, the unions, and the department. We're happy with the process of the meeting.
When you say that you're happy with the process of the meeting, what exactly has been found out from this meeting? What was the cause of the generators not kicking in to ensure that the 955 miners were brought to the surface? And if I may ask, Minister, as a direct question, why were you not on the ground when this crisis started? You've arrived 9 hours after it's come to an end, 42 hours after it started.
Well, you have asked me 3 questions now. Let me answer. What has not been told in the media is that there was a storm in the Free State, Botshabelo, Theunissen, and here, which ripped 2 ESCOM power generating equipment, which also then had a negative impact in the mine. On the issue of the generators, my team is here. We want to have facts. There is an audit. The mine is closed. For now, we want to see the safety and all those issues. We do not want to speculate in terms of what happened. But what we got as an explanation is that the system was also affected by the surge. And we are doing our own investigations around that.
Why were you not on the ground when this crisis started, Mining Minister?
I was pretty much on the ground because my team, the DMR, has been working tirelessly with the mine and the unions. They have been here, and yesterday late I then said, now let me join you and ensure that I build capacity. That is the norm. I mean, they work here all the time when I'm not here.
Well, with all due respect, Minister, we were on the ground since 7 p.m. yesterday and we did not see any officials of the Department of Mineral Resources. We only saw members of the unions, of miners that are represented by them on the ground here, as well as members of personnel and management at Sibanye Stillwater.
Well, with due respect, the mine and everybody agrees that my team was here. Maybe I should give you their names so that there is no confusion about that.
Hopefully they'll engage with the media next time.
Yes.
Minister, there seems to be an issue that's emerged. Are you going to be closing this mine until you've certified its emergency procedures? What's the union position? I guess we can ask them. But from a DMR point of view, is this mine going to start working without certification?
Now we have agreed with everybody in the meeting that we are going to follow due processes to ensure the safety of everybody and allow the mine to operate once we follow those due processes. And the management is happy, we are happy about that.
Timelines, Minister, when do you expect the mine to start operations?
My inspectors are already here.
In terms of the mine starting operations?
When I don't want to speculate. It may take a day or 2 or 4. Everybody is going to be part of this process. Organized labor, the management themselves, and we want to clear the myth so that when we are happy, then the process can kickstart. For now, the mine is closed.
Until the DMR and its inspectorate give a clearance certificate?
We follow 2 processes and we will agree.
Minister, have you met with the miners that were trapped underground, or are you planning to?
Well, everybody has been evacuated as we speak. The mines are getting some counseling, others are being attended to, and we want to allow that process to happen so that people are back to their normality. Then we'll be able then to interact at that stage.
Minister, when I spoke to one of the union, that is NUM, they complain of negligence from the mine management, and they are also saying there's no contingency plan. What's your take on that?
Well, I'm not representing any union here. I have said my inspectors are here. I want to speak on facts. If there is any negligence, I will put that report public so that we don't speculate currently, and that's not what I want to do as a responsible leader.
Just to clarify, part of your investigation will be why generators did not kick in and why there was perhaps not an alternative escape route for the miners that were trapped underground. Is that correct? Will that form part of your investigation?
No, that is not correct. There was an alternative escape route. A decision was taken that the safest will be the one they followed. But we will investigate the issues of negligence, generator, and any other matter that we may deem it fit to investigate, including the infrastructure. But we are going to follow due processes, and I can't speculate now.
All right.
All good, everyone?
So just to recap, Minister, there's no timeline for this investigation and the mine remains closed until your investigation is concluded.
We don't want to close these mines perpetually. We have not activated Section 54 because we also want to be mindful of the fact that there was a storm here. Until we have facts, we can't say there's Section 54 or this, because we want to work with everybody in a responsible way.
We good? Clear?
Perhaps could we hear from you, Mr. Matunja, as President of AMCU? Perhaps we can hear from you and find out whether or not you're satisfied with all efforts that have been made by government as well as mine management to ensure the safety of your members.
Thank you once more. I think what the Minister has just... Okay, let's start again.
So you were saying, Mr. Matunja?
Yes, we had a meeting with all the stakeholders, including all labor representatives, including management and the DMR. And we came to conclusion, as particular as us as AMCO, we put demand that there mustn't be any worker who reports for duty on Monday. Their families are traumatized as much as the breadwinners are traumatized. Therefore, they need to be given ample time for counseling, for trauma counseling. That is first. Secondly, we requested or demanded this audit that the Minister is talking about, that they must do a full-scale audit in these mines. We demand new generators. If Sibanye can go and purchase mine in US, surely they can purchase new generators in order to save lives. We want to check whether Sibanye is complying with all the regulations, because the regulations is quite clear that the company must have emergency power supply for ventilation purposes. And also, we want to draw your attention on the history of this mine. It's a high maintained concentrated mine, Beatrix Mine. And I believe that 2000, there was an explosion that killed 7 workers, and subsequent year, which was 2001, 13 mine workers were killed by this mine through explosion. And what was the cause of the explosion is because of the build-up of the methane and as a result of the power cut that happened in this mine. So therefore, we thank God that this mine is not a deep mine, it's a shallow mine. If it was a deep mine, I'm telling you, today we'll be talking a different story. They can disagree with me, the management, but the facts are there.
Do you think management is going to take adequate steps to address these problems? Do you think that they are going to act in good faith going forward?
The fact of the matter, no member of AMCO, I believe with NUM, no member should report for any duty if we haven't satisfied ourselves that this mine is in compliance with regulations.
Tell me, have you, Mr. Matunja, thought that the DMR has done enough? Are they a bit complicit in what's happened here?
No, I think the DMR has issued Section 54, of which the management is not happy about it, which we as a Labour, we support that Section 54.
Do you think that they did a proper audit here? Do you think everything was done by the book, by the DMR inspectors?
The inspectorate were visiting this mine regularly. But I mean, if there is a human error, there is a human error. That's why we are saying there must be a full-scale audit in this mine to prevent any future occurrences like this one.
Mr. Matunja, there's also a talk from the workers demanding a 3,000 compensation. Do you know anything about that?
Indeed, we put forward that we need 3,000 for each family of the member that was trapped underground to take their kids, their wives for trauma counseling. Indeed, we did put that demand.
What did the management say?
They will consider it. They will engage with the labor to deal with that demands that we put forward.
Okay.
Would it be possible to hear from the National Union of Mine Workers? We've got Ribawani Mambura, the national spokesperson of NUM here.
Thanks.
I believe you have the national office, Burr.
Thank you very much.
We've got the regional chair.
We have the regional chairperson comment.
Stand by a second. There's going to be a walkthrough. Just hold on a second.
No, we have the regional chairperson. Danki Malifani is the NUM Free State regional
We'll step out
chairperson.
the way in a second.
So we will
You guys
respond
want to come
on
through?
behalf of the NUM.
I think somebody
Okay. Thank you, Malifana. The regional chairperson from the National Union of Mine Workers is up next. Mr. Malifana, do you wish to add to anything that Mr. Matundra said?
We'll take it. We've got it.
No, we would not add anything from what Matunjwa has raised. But our point is our members who have been on the media disclosing the truth of the situation underground and what they have been experiencing underground must not be harassed nor victimized. That is our position. The second point is that we are demanding from management of Beatrix and the Department of Mineral Resources to conduct a fully investigation to establish the root cause of what happened and come up with remedial measures to prevent the recurrence. Once we are satisfied that the root cause has been addressed as parties, it is then that our people will go underground. Before we are satisfied that our members will be safe to go underground, they will not go underground. The question of how long will that take, it will depend on the solution that will be arrived at, which is the prevention of the recurrence.
Is it possible for us to bring in the representative of Sibanye Stillwater?
I think finish with the unions. And then
Are there any more questions for Mr. Malafani?
Because we are taking it live, Mr. Wellstead. Maybe we will take you now because it's live.
we're not going to engage in a debate here. I think finish with the unions and then we can chat.
Okay.
Does anybody have any further questions for the National Union of Mine Workers?
No, I'm clear with the.
We're all clear? We're all clear? Okay. Mr. Malafani, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Just watch out for the cable as you step over.
Okay.
Careful. Don't just want to let it pin through. Okay. Looks like I've had a bath. That's all right. It took me about a minute.
All right, well, that was Mineral Resources Minister Mosebenzi Zwane and, of course, Joseph Matunjwa, AMCU President, alongside the NUM President there. And, of course, tabling their demands, basically the union saying they want a full-scale investigation into the root cause because they have been hearing, of course, some rumors that the working conditions underground at Beatrix Mine are not safe. They're also calling for 3,000 rand for each and every one of the miners that was trapped underground, and of course for the miners to get some counseling. That was all coming to us live from the Free State there.